Imagine a world where the life as you know it vanishes in a flash. A world where the conveniences that we often take for granted, like a trip to the grocery store or flicking on a light switch, suddenly become relics of a bygone era. It's a chilling thought, isn't it? But let's not dwell on the terrifying possibilities. Instead, let's focus on the word prepared. In a world turned upside down, being prepared isn't just about having a pantry filled with canned goods or a basement stocked with bottled water. It's about understanding the concept of scarcity and the value of items that become high-demand commodities when the inevitable strikes. Imagine a hurricane tearing through your town, or an earthquake that shakes the foundations of your home. Or perhaps it's a grid collapse that sweeps across the globe, bringing everyday life to a standstill. In these scenarios, the things we often take for granted suddenly become scarce. Gasoline stations run dry, drugstores get emptied out, supermarkets are stripped bare. This is where the concept of scarcity comes into play. When disaster strikes, certain items skyrocket in value due to their potential utility in a survival situation. These aren't just things you might want to have on hand, they're things you'll need to survive and thrive in a post-disaster world. We're talking about fuel for cooking and heating, medical supplies for treating injuries, fire-starting materials for warmth and cooking, batteries for powering devices, and so many more. These are the items that you won't find once a disaster strikes, and if you haven't secured them beforehand, you won't find them afterward. And here's the thing. These items won't just be valuable to you, they'll be valuable to everyone else who didn't prepare as well. That's why it's essential not only to have these items but also to keep them hidden. In a world of scarcity, these high-demand items will be a target. So, what's the first thing you'd want to secure? Gasoline or propane, the lifeblood of modern machinery. In a world where the unexpected has become the norm, these two resources can make the difference between a warm meal and a cold night. Picture this, a generator humming softly in the background, providing the necessary power to keep your shelter lit and warm. Or imagine a calm evening where the aroma of a hot meal cooked on a propane stove wafts through the air. Fuel, in its many forms, is an essential commodity in times of crisis. It powers vehicles that can take you away from danger, runs machinery that can protect you, and provides the heat that cooks your food and keeps you warm. But remember, safety is paramount. Always store fuel in approved containers, in a cool, dry place away from living spaces. But what happens when an injury strikes? Medical supplies, the difference between life and death. In the wake of a disaster, these become as valuable as gold. Bandages, for instance, can mean the difference between a minor wound and a life-threatening infection. Swiftly tending to injuries, big or small, keeps you in the game. Antibiotics, too, are vital. In a world where even a small cut can lead to severe infection, these are your first line of defense. Without them, even the simplest of infections can spiral out of control. And let's not forget pain relievers. They might seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but when you're dealing with physical pain, their worth becomes immeasurable. They enable you to push through, to keep fighting, to keep surviving. When these items run scarce, their value skyrockets. They become precious commodities, sought after by all. Now, can you survive in the dark? Fire-starting materials and batteries, your beacon in the abyss. As we delve into the darkness that a disaster can bring, remember, the ability to illuminate your path and create warmth becomes a priceless commodity. Consider fire-starting materials, lighters, matches, flint and steel. These are your lifelines in a cold, dark world. They're not just for comfort, mind you. Fire can sterilize water, cook food, deter predators, and signal for help. It's a fundamental survival tool, as old as humanity itself. Next up, batteries. These little powerhouses are often overlooked, but in a world without electricity, they're as good as gold. They power your flashlights, radios, and other essential devices. The light they provide can turn a terrifying night into a manageable situation. See, both fire-starting materials and batteries become scarce when disaster strikes. Stocking up now ensures that when darkness falls, you'll have your own beacon of hope. With light and heat secured, what about food? Food, water, and shelter, the pillars of survival. These are not just words, but the very essence of life, especially when you're battling against the harsh realities of a disaster. Let's delve into why you should prioritize stocking up on these items and how their absence can turn a survival situation into a desperate struggle for life. Non-perishable food items are a lifeline in survival situations. Foods like canned goods, dried fruits, and jerky have long shelf lives, providing you with necessary nutrition when fresh food is a luxury you can't afford. They're compact, easy to store, And most importantly, they can be eaten without cooking. Remember, in a disaster, you may not have the luxury of a fully functioning kitchen. Water, on the other hand, is the elixir of life. Without it, survival is a ticking clock. That's where portable water storage containers come in. These containers allow you to store and transport this precious resource, ensuring you have access to clean water even when the taps run dry. But remember, it's not just about having water, it's about having safe, drinkable water. So consider adding water purification tablets to your prep list. Now let's talk shelter. The human body is a fragile thing, and exposure to harsh weather conditions can be deadly. Tarps and duct tape are versatile tools for creating a makeshift shelter, providing a barrier against the elements. They're lightweight, easy to pack, and can be set up in various configurations depending on your needs. But remember, a shelter is not just about protection, it's also about privacy, a place to rest, and a sense of safety amidst chaos. The scarcity of these essentials can quickly turn a challenging situation into a life-threatening one. They're not commodities but necessities, and their value in a survival situation is immeasurable. But survival is not just about the body, it's also about the mind. Let's explore that thought in the next scene. Playing cards and board games, your refuge from the chaos. In the midst of calamity, the human mind craves not only physical sustenance but intellectual stimulation as well. As survival becomes a daily reality, preserving sanity becomes just as vital as preserving life itself. In the stillness that follows the storm, the echo of normalcy can be a balm to the soul. A deck of cards, a simple board game, these can serve as a tether to the world we once knew, a world we hope to see again. They provide an escape from the harsh realities of survival, a momentary respite where laughter can still be heard, where hope can be nurtured. These simple items become a beacon of light in the darkness, a reminder that we are more than just survivors, we are human beings, capable of joy, capable of hope. They serve as a testament to our enduring spirit. Remember, preparedness is the key to survival. These 15 items can mean the difference between life and death. Let's quickly recap. Firstly, gasoline or propane. They're not just fuel for your car or your grill. They're the power that will keep your world turning when the lights go out. Second, medical supplies. When there are no doctors or pharmacies available, these bandages, antibiotics, and pain relievers will be your lifeline. Third, fire-starting materials. Humanity's first invention could be your last line of defense against the cold, the dark, and the unknown. Fourth, batteries. Your flashlights, radios, and other vital electronics won't work without them. Fifth, a portable stove or camping cookware. These are your kitchen when there's no kitchen. Sixth, seeds for planting a garden. Food doesn't just come from stores, it comes from the earth. Seventh, a multi-tool or Swiss Army knife. It's an entire toolbox that fits in your pocket. Eighth, cash or precious metals. When the digital world crashes, we'll be back to basics in a flash. Ninth, a solar-powered charger. It's your lifeline to the outside world when the grid goes down. 10th, portable water storage containers. Water is life. These make sure you have it when you need it. 11th, tarps and duct tape. The simplest materials can make the strongest shelters. 12th, work gloves. Protect your hands and they'll take care of the rest. 13th, non-perishable food items. When the shelves are empty, your pantry will be full. 14th, playing cards and board games. Even in the darkest times, we need to remember what it's like to smile. And finally, 15th, emergency blankets or space blankets. Their warmth, their shelter, their safety. These are the things that can make the difference when the unthinkable happens. The time to prepare is now. Don't be left in the dark. I will catch you on the next one.